Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jo from The Pretty Aesthetic, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to create a set of Instagram story templates in Adobe Illustrator. This is a really easy entry-level tutorial. If you're new to Illustrator, this is perfect for you.
Okay, so we're starting with 6 templates. The artboards are sized at 1080 by 1920, which is the standard size for a phone screen. And I've just got a color palette here of some quasi-neutrals. I haven't decided which ones I want to use yet, but I know it's all going to be in that range, so I'm just going to play around with the colors until I decide what I like. I'm using all the on-screen actions. I'm trying not to use keyboard shortcuts so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just, using the eyedropper tool to mix and match the colors until I decide what I like. Okay, and I'm just going to go to unsplash.com and pick some desk images. That's cool. I like that one as well. Keeping it kind of neutral colors. If you're working with a brand or if you're doing this for yourself, you can probably just choose your own and it'll all fit into your color scheme anyway. So yeah, I'm just using ones that work with the neutral colors I've got. I'm just going to use this to create a clipping mask. So it's Command 7 to create a clipping mask, and then that image fits into that box. And I'm going to add some type above. I'm just kind of coming up with this stuff as I go along, sort of very generic, what you would use for story templates. I'm going to use Montserrat. I really love this font, it's so versatile. I'm going to add a heading and a block. If you hit Command Y, it brings up the outlines, and you can grab anything that is behind maybe your text block and bring it to the front. And I'm just really playing around with the text and button size here, just to kind of see what looks good, see what fits in with the style I'm going for. I'm just going to lock that background layer by Command 2, that locks it, and then obviously I won't select it at the same time as I'm selecting my little blog post heading. If I hit unlock all, then I can also change that color, see what looks best. I think I might just stick with that grey blue. Just going to find another font for this, add some variety. And this is a Laura Worthington script font from Adobe Fonts. Also really versatile, very nice to use. I'm just adjusting the line height and size, playing around with this, seeing what I think looks good. At this point I actually think I'm going to swap the two and do the heading in the script font and maybe the description rather in a lowercase Montserrat. Looks kind of quirky. Yeah, let's see how this looks in that script font. Again, just playing around with the button sizes until I find what I think looks nice. And then I'm just going to add in the website URL at the bottom there. So that's when we share stuff, like if you don't have 10,000 followers yet, it's nice to just have the URL in there. Even if somebody can't click on it, at least they can see it belongs to your blog or your website. Just want to make sure I leave enough space at the bottom. And I'm just going to add a little border around that frame. There you go, I think that looks nice. We're off to a good start. Just thinking about these colors again. For this one, I've written up a whole bunch of like this or that options. You know, you share a story, underline what you are underneath it. So I've written that out and I'm just gonna type it in underneath there. Okay, let's just bring that or size down a little, I think. Just gonna select that and make it a bit smaller. Cool, now let's add in our this or that options. The more I look at this little image on the side, I feel like it would be nice to add a little bit of branding to it. So if you had like a podcast, or if you just wanted to put your own branding just in a little circle in the corner there, I think that could look really cute. I'm just going to call it, I don't know, the Happiness House Club. That's the first thing I thought of. Let's bump that size up a bit. Cool beans. Just a cute little element you can add in there to give it a bit more personality. Okay, and switching back to type tool. I'm gonna type in all my options here. And I'm just going to use the eyedropper tool to grab that style from our previous description. Just playing around with the colors, see what works again. And then I'm just hitting Alt and the down arrow to change the line height. Duplicating it, also holding Alt and dragging, and then I'm just adding in the opposite options. I'm gonna left align this side and bring it in a bit closer. Again, I'm just hitting Alt and holding in the down arrow to change that line height. Gonna lock the background layer so I can play around with this sizing easily. And then I want to add in a little thing here that says tag 3 friends. And I'm going to use the same style as that heading at the top. Just gonna hold it, grab those arrow points, align it to the center of the artboard and bring the wording to the front. Just want to make this a little bit smaller. Cool, and then leaving enough space at the bottom to tag your friends. I'm just playing around with the colors here again, just seeing what looks good, what matches with it all, but still looks interesting. Yeah, I actually really like that green. Let's just bring these two a bit close together, and then I'm just grouping them by hitting Command G and aligning them to the middle of the artboard. Okay, I'm going to bring in another image here, also create a clipping mask. I'm just dragging a rectangle over it, selecting the two and hitting Command 7 to create a clipping mask. I'm going to drag them into the corner here and then I'll resize holding Shift. I'm going to use the white arrow to grab those anchor points and change the size of my clipping mask. And then if you select the image inside using the white arrow, you can then change the back arrow and resize the image within the clipping mask. Yeah, that looks a little bit funny with the computer cut off, so I'm just going to keep that maybe right aligned. There we go. Okay, let's add in another heading. And I want to just rotate this and leave it on this side here. I think that looks kind of cool. Just going to move it down so I have enough space for Instagram's stuff to be over it. Usually you have like your profile at the top left there, so I just want to make sure that I always leave enough space at the top and the bottom. Let's add a little description here. Gonna right align that. And I do want this to kind of overlap on the image a little bit, but I don't want it to look like it's spaced in that corner of the desk, because I think that looks a bit funny. So I'm just going to grab this, bring it to the front, and make another little image border. Making sure I have enough space, bring that to the front. And then I'm just going to put my border into a clipping mask as well. Let's just duplicate that, bring it to the front, select those two and hit it, make a clipping mask, and then send it to the back. I want to put this little symbol in on here as well. Just making sure it's the same distance from the edge as it is from the top. And let's call this one Get to Know Me, and then I'm gonna add these little circles in there that you could use. You could add GIFs into for your Instagram stories. Okay, let's add some little circles. I think I'm just going to do 6 for this. And then I really like using the distribute spacing under the align tool. That's a really easy way to just make sure all your objects are the same distance away from each other. I'm grouping them and aligning them to the artboard, and then ungrouping them and spacing them a little bit further apart. Okay, now I want to add a little description around each of these, so I'm duplicating the circle, I'm using the text on the path tool, and I'm adding in that text, and then I'm just going to rotate it until it looks about straight for me. I'm just eyeballing this, it doesn't have to be exact, I like it being a little bit off. And then I'm just duplicating that and letting it snap to the same position on each circle and adding in different text. Cool, I'm happy with that, and I'm just going to add another tag 3 friends underneath. I'm gonna grab that background. If you really need to illustrate, an easy way to duplicate things is just by holding an Alt while you click on them and then drag them to a new position. Okay, I'm gonna add in another image here. I'm gonna add it into another clipping mask, and then I'm also gonna add a border around it. I'm just playing around with text styles here, see what looks good. I think I'm gonna go back to that, so never mind, that's what looked good. But at least I tried the other styles. Now I want to add in another little feature here. I want to use this as little side elements, and then I'm just going to add in 3 top tips, but I haven't decided how I'm going to style this yet. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to do like a big 3 and then top tips next to it to fit in there, but I'm just going to play around and see what looks good. And I'm just holding in Alt and the up arrow to adjust that line height. Cool, I think that looks good together. I'm just going to change these colors. Maybe the other way around. I like that. Cool, last one. And this one I want to do like tools I use every day, underline and tag 3 friends again. So again, another kind of interactive one. And I also want to do it as a 2-color background. Just using these rectangles to kind of block it out as what I want it to look like. Okay, let's add in a little heading. Call it Daily Design Routine. I'm just holding Command Y so that I can get to that little border which is behind the text block. So I can select it, make it a bit longer, align it to the artboard, and bring my text back over it. I'm using a Mac. If you're using Windows, then everything I'm saying Command for, it's just Control instead of Command. Say underline what you use daily. Let me make this a little bit smaller, I think. Just playing around with the spacing to see what looks good. Okay, I'm gonna ungroup this and duplicate the right aligned one. Let's just drag it down here and let's add in some options. There we go, that's it. Delete that and let's look at it from here.
And that's the video. I hope that this was helpful and you enjoyed it. And if you do use the template, please tag me. I would love to see what you come up with. Until next week, bye!